Okay, so now that we have our file converted to an SVG, which is here in a folder, we open up Illustrator. I'm going to run through this real quick here again. So I'm going to do a new page in Illustrator, do new, and for this example we can do letter. Leave it on inches unless you want to work with millimeters, that's fine. Click on create. I'm going to turn on my ruler, which is Control R, and I have my ruler set at inches so I can see that. By default, documents in Illustrator are CMYK, but for the laser cutter, we need to make sure that we do the document mode as RGB. Okay, so we have a blank document now. Basically, it's 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Now we're going to go to File, Place. We're going to find our SVG that we converted right here, and we're going to place that into Illustrator. It'll take a second. So here's our image here we exported, so from Fusion. So it comes in with a lot of other stuff, but I don't really care about that. I want it. What I really want is the Space Invader guy. So all I have to do is just go through here and just remove the paths that we don't want here, like this. You can probably just do that too. Because a SVG file is just a vector file, so it's just lines. So what we end up with now is our Space Invader guy that we drew in Fusion. We import him in, we put a hole in there. And obviously this is not 2D, it's just the vector here, the line, that's all we need. So one thing we have to do is just make sure that for the laser cutter either sees red as cutting or black as engraving. So this particular design here, we're going to just cut around all these lines here and cut these shapes out. So for that, we will need to establish the color. So we'll go to Window, we're going to go to our swatches. These swatches here, by default, are not the right ones, so we're going to make a new one. So new swatch. We'll make sure that we're on this. You leave that the same there, so it's going to be RGB, which is red, green, and blue. So I'm just going to type cut, make it a name. You make the red 255, the green 0, and the blue 0, and we'll click on OK. That's going to be our cut color. So we want to have all these lines. We want them to be not black, but we want them to be our red that we just made. Let me pull this down a little bit here. So that's our color that we made with a little triangle right there. We'll click on that. And we can tell that the lines are red because right now on the lower left over here, the stroke and line weight are the same. It's the same thing. So stroke and line weight are the same thing. So now our lines are red. One last thing we have to do. The laser cutter only sees red when it wants to cut, but it will only cut if the line weight is up here at the top where it says stroke. It has to be 0.001. That's inches. It's like a size of a pencil tip. So right now, if we send this to the laser cutter, it will see the red lines and it will cut it out.